I want to tell you about a breakthrough I had that helped me be consistent and increase skill while overcoming some of my severest burnouts. I've shared in a previous video that consistency, above all else, is the fundamental thing that is required for an art journey to mature, in my opinion. This has been my most successful video so far, and a lot of you have resonated with it. There was one comment that struck me, and that was about the importance of drawing what you like. Now, if I had a book of rules for making art, consistency would be the first, and this would be the second. I think a reason why a lot of people quit their pursuit of art or any craft or study and burn out is that they're focusing on getting things right, which is an idea that comes from outside of yourself, rather than doing what they want is fun or feels aligned with them, which is more of an internal drive. I do believe that sustaining longevity in practicing anything, being consistent and disciplined, starts with alignment. You cannot do something you don't want to do for a long time. Some people have an easier time sticking with things they don't want to, but that high tolerance for misery could backfire with consequential burnouts or looking back and realizing you've been misaligned for years. As someone who had struggled with perfectionism myself, seeking the right way to do things had been a pitfall of mine for many years. When you seek the right way to do things outside of yourself, you might be looking to learn from somebody else's experience. That is a good thing. But if you take it too far out of fear of making mistakes or wasting time, you would accidentally be looking for somebody else to dictate to you a set of rules. Now, living by other people's rules can be dangerous as it can kill your internal motivation very quickly. I personally think that nobody's set of rules fit anybody else entirely. And in fact, succeeding in your personal practice means doing what you personally like, enjoy, and feel aligned with. If you're still mediocre technically, but you wake up excited about drawing shrimps every day, you're 50% there already. If you're worried about technical mastery and think that only once you've done studying everything that you need and are perfectly skilled, you'll start having fun, my friend, you are not going to make it, and I mean it with the best of intent. My worst burnouts came when I had fallen into following a set of rules too rigidly, believing it was the only path to success. Now, the cure for each of these burnouts was to throw the rigid regimens I've built for myself down the drain and draw fun stuff. For example, shrimps. But wait, Mr. Zyphid, if I always have fun, how will I ever get good? How will I know I'm doing it right? Right? This is the kind of question that I know I'm going to get. So if you put enjoyment first and mastery second, I assure you, you will find a spirit that might have had eluded you before. You start with drawing a shrimp, and all of a sudden, you magically dive into a deeper study on organic forms that creates new technical breakthroughs. And then you find an exercise that you like online and practice it for a week without even realizing you're putting in real result-producing effort into your craft. Painful discipline is there to help us through some days here and there. Most days should be pretty fun for the most part. If your art practice feels like a grind you don't feel like getting into each morning, you might want to ask yourself whether you're having enough fun. So now lastly, how do you remedy this? If you're one of those types who are too worried that having too much fun is bad for you, as I have often been, I suggest try having just a little bit of it before the hard stuff you've been planning to do anyway. So by forcing yourself against your instinct of doing only hard things and actively prioritizing fun, you ensure you actually do it rather than leave some room at the end of your session and never get to it. So do me one personal favor and start with a little bit of fun.
If you care to support the channel, consider dropping a couple of dollars on the Patreon or get something like a cool shrimp poster or sticker from the shop. Thank you.